Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, today we are going to discuss Kostanecki reaction. This reaction is basically about the formation of carbon-oxygen bond. This carbon-oxygen bond is created in such a way that we interact or react 2-hydroxy-phenyl ketone or 2-hydroxy-aryl ketone or ortho-hydroxy-phenyl ketone, ortho-hydroxy-aryl ketone with acetic anhydride or some other anhydride, acid anhydride. So due to reaction of an acid anhydride and ortho-hydroxy-phenyl or aryl ketone, we get two types of product at the same time, which have difference or variation in their formation or in their percentages, but both occur both products are formed at the same time in the same reaction condition. One of the product is coumarine, which is also a compound which bear lactone type functionality in it, and second is the chromone. Both are formed at the same time. The coumarine product is 3 and 4 substituted product, and similarly the chromone product is 2 substituted chromone product. In this second lecture of Kostanecki, we shall discuss first some introduction to Kostanecki reaction, and then we shall move towards the formation of chromone. Some introduction of chromone will be given, some different methods used for the chromone formation, then mechanism of this chromone formation along with the stepwise mechanism discussion. Then we shall move through these points in this lecture today. Kostanecki reaction was first introduced in 1901, about 1 century ago. It was presented by Kostanecki and Rosicky. Both scientists presented or tried to synthesize coumarine by using the 2-hydroxy-aryl ketones. This reaction is also known as Kostanecki acylation or Kostanecki-Robinson reaction. Kostanecki acylation is a method used to form chromones or coumarines by acylation of ortho-hydroxy-aryl ketones or ortho-hydroxy-phenyl ketones with aliphatic acid anhydrides, followed by cyclization. First step is the reaction with the acetic anhydride, and then the second step is the cyclization of this O-acylated product into coumarine or chromone. First step is same for both coumarines and chromones, that is the O-acylation, acylation at the hydroxy group, oxygen of hydroxy group of this ortho-hydroxy-aryl ketone. But the next step is different for both coumarines and chromones, and as the chances of the second step are equal for moving towards the coumarine and chromone, so both products are achieved here because the reaction conditions favor both types of reactions. If we use benzic anhydride, that is aromatic anhydride, acid anhydride, instead of aliphatic acid, then we get the chromone, which have specially name of flavone, and this is reaction is also known as Allen-Robinson reaction for the synthesis of flavone. Here is the general representation of this reaction. Here in first reaction you can see an acid, aliphatic acid anhydride is treated with 2-hydroxyacetophenone or ortho-hydroxyacetophenone, and after the reaction of these both reagents, we get two types of product. The top product is basically a chromone, which is also known as Allen Robinson reaction, and the second product is a coumarin, which is called Kostenecki acylation reaction basically. Here the difference is that in both of the product, in first product or the top product, you can see the oxygen and ketonic carbonyl are at 1,4 position, but in coumarin and second product, you can see the oxygen and carbonyl are adjacent to each other in the form of a lactone, and we get this cyclic ring here, which is substituted at 3 and 4th position. Oxygen is given the 1 position, carbonyl carbon is 2nd position, then next carbon, which is now attached to R, is 3rd position, and the methyl carbon, the carbon to which methyl is attached, is 4th one. Similar numbering is for the chromone, the top product also, in which you can see the 2nd position is substituted by the group which has come from the acid anhydride. The second reaction is also general representation of this Kostenecki reaction. Here you can see the number 1 reactant, which is treated with an anhydride and converted into product number 2 and 3. Here you can see the blue color of the anhydride part, which is going to be involved or attached to the 2-hydroxy phenyl or allyl ketone, and here you can see when there is formation of chromone, then the anhydride carbon is attached as number 2 position, but in case of coumarin, the anhydride moieties are attached as number 2 and 3 carbon, number 2 and 3 position. So this is the overview of this Kostenecki reaction. Chromones are the also heterocyclic compounds, and the simplest chromone is shown here also. It is named as chromine 4-on or 4-chromone or 4H1-benzopyrene 4-on or 1,4-benzopyrene or benzogammapyrone. It is a derivative of benzopyrene with the substituted keto group on the pyrene ring. It is also can be termed as the isomer of coumarin, because in case of isomer there was the position of this oxygen and ketonic carbonyl adjacent to each other or at vicinal position, that is number 1 and number 2. But here in case of chromone, this position of these oxygen and ketonic carbonyl is at number 1 and 4th position. So although this ring in case of coumarin was bearing a double bond, and here in this case also there is present double bond in this 6-membered ring. So on these all of these comments or all these points, we can say chromone is the coumarin isomer of coumarin. The derivatives of chromone are collectively known as chromones in general, but these derivatives have some special classes also. For example, if chromone is substituted with phenyl, then this phenyl substituted chromone is are named as phelamone, and phelamone are further classified into different classes depending upon the position of this phenyl group. Here the phenyl group can be at the 2nd position in adjacent to the oxygen, as you can see the structure of simple phenolone here, in which phenyl group is attached at the 2nd position adjacent to oxygen, or it can be at the 3rd position also, which is termed another class of the flavone. So this is all about the general introduction about chromone. Here are some reactions given which are used for the formation of chromones. The first reaction is Claisen condensation, which has been used for the formation of chromone. Here you can see the reaction in which 2-hydroxy benzo ketone is treated with a methyl ester, and in the presence of base like sodium hydride are activated, and after this reaction, here you can see the reaction is on the ketonic site, that is the carbon, alpha carbon of this ketone has been substituted with the R3 group or acyl group from this ester, and we get this compound. Then in the presence of acid, this molecule is converted into the chromone, substituted chromone. Second is the Kostenecki-Robinson reaction, in which here you can see the 2-hydroxy benzoketone, and this on treatment with the anhydride is converted into this product, and after in the acid hydrolysis, or you can say cyclization, occurs in the acidic media, and we get the formation of chromone. The third is the Baker-Venka-Taraman rearrangement. This region also uses the same substrate, but here the second reactant is different, that is acyl halides are used here, which on first acylated at the O position, that is oxygen of hydroxy group, and then in the presence of base, this is reshifted towards the ketonic site, and then in acidic medium it is cyclized into the chromone. This is the general overall mechanism for the formation of chromone. Here you can see there is a formation of enol on the ketonic part of this 2-hydroxy benzoketone. After the formation of this enol, or you can say after the process of enolization, then it interacts with the anhydride functionality. Here you can see the anhydride functionality interacts in such a way that first acetate ion, which removes the hydrogen from this hydroxy group, the sigma bond of oxygen and hydrogen moves towards the carbon oxygen single bond, which is being converted into double bond. Carbon carbon double bond of this enol functionality now acts as a nucleophile from the second carbon, and acting as a nucleophile, it attacks on the carbon of the carbonyl group of anhydride. After its attack, carbon oxygen double bond is broken and oxygen gets the negative charge, and so this is the process named as acylation. Here you can see in the next step, the product obtained here is in such a way that hydroxy group is remains untouched, which is not involved in the reaction, but this ketonic functionality has been converted into the acylation step, or has moved through the acylation step. In the next step, oxygen, the negative charge of oxygen moves towards the carbon, making their double bond, and the anhydride part is removed in the form of acetate ion, and we get the product in which now the alpha carbon of ketone has been acylated with the acyl group, which has come from the anhydride. In the next step, the anhydride again comes and abstracts the proton from this alpha carbon of ketone, which is has been made to be too much acidic because of the presence of 2 carbonyl group at the vicinal position. So due to 2 carbonyl group, and this alpha hydrogen is alpha position with respect to both of the carbonyl functionalities, and we get there the this proton as a acidic one, and this acidic proton is easily removed by the acetate ion. The carbon oxygen sigma electrons move towards the carbonyl carbon, making their double bond, and oxygen getting the negative charge. This negatively charged oxygen can be protonated from the acid. Now in the next step, as you can see, again enolization occur, and here you can see the form of the formation of an enol here. But this enolization is you can say facilitated by the acetate ion present in the medium. Now the hydroxy oxygen acting as a nucleophile attacks on the carbonyl carbon, and the carbon oxygen double bond is converted into single bond, and oxygen getting the negative charge. Now the cyclization occurs here, and due to attack of oxygen, the proton of this hydroxy oxygen can be removed by the acetate ions present in the medium or anhydrides. Here you can see this proton has been shifted into the on the product side on the negatively charged oxygen, and we get the product in which the proton of hydroxy oxygen has been removed, and the negatively charged oxygen has been protonated here with OH group. In the next step, you can see the OH group of enol functionality. The proton is removed here by the acetate ion or carboxylate ion, and the sigma electron moving towards the carbon, making their double bond, and the carbon-carbon double bond moving towards the next carbon, that is number 2 and 3, making their double bond, and the OH is removed in the form of water here, and we get the double bond here. This OH, as you know, OH group is not a good living group. So to make it a good living group, we have to convert into a good living group like water. So this proton, which has been acid carboxylate ion to be abstracted, this proton can be abstracted by this OH group directly, and we get the water, which is abstract, and this position is approachable also, because here you can see the ring is not a planar one, it can be bending one, and there can be bending, and so we can approach easily OH group and hydrogen to form water here. And so the resultant is the formation of the chromone, which is now substituted at second and third position. The second position is substituted with R1 group. This R1 group has come from the anhydrides, acid anhydride functionality, and number 3 position has been substituted with R group, and this R group has come from ketone, or you can say it was previously attached with this with the carbonyl ketonic functionality. So this is the overall mechanism for the formation of chromone from 2-hydroxy benzoketone. Here is given the simultaneous formation of coumarine and chromones for the better understanding of this Kostenecki reaction, in which we have discussed that coumarine and chromone go simultaneously. No doubt we have made 2 lectures here. First lecture was totally based on coumarine formation, and second now was on the chromone formation, but here we are now discussing also the formation of coumarine and chromone at the same time or simultaneously. What happens when we move towards the coumarine, or where is the difference when we move from coumarine to chromone? Here you can see the 2-hydroxyacetophenone as a reactant, which is treated with anhydride, and after reaction of this anhydride with this hydroxy functionality acting as a nucleophile, and the carbonyl present in anhydride acting as an electrophilic center, after the attack of this hydroxy on the anhydride, we get the product in which we have hydroxy position here, in the anhydride functionality, and then by the removal of this moiety or functionality in the form of acetic acid, and we are moved towards the formation of O acylated product, that is O oxygen in this molecule, in the substrate molecule, is now substituted with acetyl group in place of hydrogen. Up to this step, up to formation of this O acylated product, the reaction for both coumarin formation and chromone formation remains same. The second point which makes the difference is that if we are moving towards the coumarin, then the enolization step occurs, and if we move towards the chromone, then also enolization step occurs. But in both of the cases, you have, if you remember, that in case of coumarin, the enolization occurs on the O acylated product, O acylated group, that is the acylated group which is present directly attached to the oxygen, is moved towards the enolization, and if this thing moves towards the enolization, then we move the mechanism towards the coumarin formation. But if the enolization occurs at the ketonic functionality, which is attached to the directly attached to the benzene, then we move towards the product which led us to the formation of chromone. Here is the mechanism a little bit different from that which we have previously discussed for the coumarin and chromone formation, because here it is using base, and in the presence of base, the ketonic alpha carbon, that is CH3, 2 methyls, here you can see 2 methyls are present, one with the ester carbonyl and one with the ketonic carbonyl. If we are using base, then this base can abstract proton from that of the ketonic alpha carbon, methyl carbon, and if it happens that the proton is abstracted from the ketonic alpha carbon or methyl group, then this ketonic functionality will move towards the chromone formation. And here you can see this negatively charged oxygen, negatively charged carbon attacks on the carbonyl of the acyl group attached to the oxygen, and oxygen gets the negative charge, and then after in this way there is formation of 6-membered ring. Oxygen, the negative charge of oxygen can be protonated by the acetic acid, and then with the removal of water, hydrogen and OH group, hydroxy group and hydrogen, with the removal of water we get their double bond, and we get the chromone formation here. This in this way you can see here the abstraction of proton or the enol formation on the ketonic side, that is the side where the group which is directly attached to the benzene ring, the ketonic group. Then we move towards the formation of the chromone. But if there is the abstraction of proton from or enolization occurs on the O acylated product, O acylated group, that is the acyl group which is attached to the oxygen, if that group functionality move toward the formation of the enol or abstraction through the formation of a nucleophilic carbon, then if this nucleophilic carbon attacks on the ketonic carbonyl, then oxygen gets the negative charge, and we get the 6-membered cyclization ring, and this oxygen can be protonated by the acetic acid or present in the medium. And then after the removal of water, here again in the same way that OH group attacks on the hydrogen, because both are present at the vicinal position, so easily lone pair of hydroxy can attack on the vicinal hydrogen to form to be converted into water, and we get the carbon-carbon double bond here after the removal of water after dehydration, and this thing makes the formation of coumarin. And if you compare both of the pathways here, you can easily judge that there is no speciality which is favoring the formation of coumarin or which is favoring the formation of chromone. So both are moving simultaneously, both are moving, chances are equal for both type of the products. So by using the Kostenecki reaction conditions, we always move toward the product with the mixture in which we also get coumarin and also get the chromone. There may be some difference in this formation because of the different substituent present on the ketonic alpha carbon or the O different acyl group attached at the oxygen of the hydroxy group. So different functionalities can favor some of the product, that some product substituent may favor coumarin formation and some may favor chromone formation. These chances are equal here, but these chances can be different here, different chances for coumarin formation and different chances for chromone formation, and on that basis there may be different percentages of the resulting product. That is, in some cases we may get more percentage of coumarin and in some cases we may get more percentage of chromone. Here is the stepwise discussion. Step 1 is about the acylation of the hydroxy group, that is, there is reaction between orthohydroxy, aryl ketone and anhydride. Here you can see the attack of the lone pair of oxygen from hydroxy group to the carbon electrophilic center carbon of carbonyl in acetic anhydride and in acid anhydride, and the pi bond is broken and oxygen gets the negative charge. In the next step, before going to next step, here we should explain there are two types of lone pair in this 2-hydroxy acetophenone functionality. One type of lone pair is on the oxygen of hydroxy group, and the other two lone pairs are on the oxygen of carbonyl carbon of acetophenone. But the attack is from the hydroxy and not that of carbonyl oxygen. This thing can be explained because this oxygen is showing more nucleophilic character, and this nucleophilic character may be due to sp3 hybridization of this oxygen, but oxygen of carbonyl functionality is sp2 hybridized, and so lone pair will be little bit less nucleophilic as compared to this hydroxy, and we are getting moving through this hydroxy functionality. This reaction pathway is now in the absence of base. So after the attack of hydroxy on the carbonyl, we get the next intermediate in which oxygen is now getting negative charge and the hydroxy oxygen is getting positive charge due to 3 bonds, and in the next step the negatively charged oxygen attacks on the proton, remove this proton, and oxygen positive charge of oxygen has also been removed, and we get this thing in which now OH oxygen, O minus oxygen is now has been converted into hydroxy group. In the next step, the neighboring lone pair of carbonyl attacks on this hydrogen of hydroxy group, and the sigma bond between OH group moves towards the carbon oxygen single bond, making their double bond, and at the same time carbon oxygen single bond is broken, moving towards the acetic toward the anhydride functionality carbonyl, and making their carbon oxygen double bond. And so in this way we have byproduct of carboxylic acid along with the formation of O acylated product. This mechanism, this step can be achieved if we use a base. Here you can see at the bottom of this slide, sodium acetate has been used as a base. The negative charge oxygen of acetate ion attacks as a base on the hydrogen, and oxygen gets the negative charge. This negatively charged oxygen then attacks on the carbon of the anhydride functionality, and at the same time carbon oxygen double bond, pi bond is broken, oxygen gets the negative charge, and then this negative charge moves back for the formation of double bond, and the carbon oxygen bond of anhydride functionality has been broken, along with the formation of carbon oxygen double bond, and the other oxygen gets the negative charge. This negatively charged oxygen is counterbalanced by the sodium ion, and we get the sodium acetate as the byproduct. That is, base which was used acts as a catalyst and now is returned back with the formation of O acylated product with anhydride. Second thing which can be discussed here, in the first step of the top of the reaction, you see the attack of hydroxy lone pair on the anhydride carbonyl carbon, and we get the product, intermediate product. This intermediate now in this case O minus is attacking on the proton and is getting converted into OH. This hydrogen can be removed by the other carbonyl oxygen of the anhydride functionality, but as we know that negatively charged oxygen sp3 hybridized oxygen is more nucleophilic as compared to neutral sp2 hybridized oxygen. So therefore proton of this oxygen is removed by the O minus negatively charged oxygen, and we move towards the further reaction. Step 2 here is about the chromone formation. The last step 1 was just similar to that of the coumarin formation, but this step 2 has a difference, as we have discussed that in case of coumarin formation we move through the enolization of the O acylated functionality, but in case of chromone formation we move through the enolization of the ketonic functionality. Here you can see the enolization step in which ketonic functionality has been converted into enol, and now in the next step the oxygen lone pair of carbonyl oxygen which is directly attached to the oxy, that is ester, carbonyl of ester functionality. This carbonyl lone pair of this oxygen attacks on the hydrogen with partial positive charge. Oxygen hydrogen 2 sigma electrons move towards the carbon oxygen, making their double bond, and at the same time carbon carbon double bond is now converted into single bond, and the second carbon acting as a nucleophile attacks on the carbonyl carbon of this ester functionality, and the carbon oxygen double bond moved toward the oxygen, and that oxygen was, and that lone pair of the oxygen moved towards the hydrogen. In this way this cyclic step is completed, and we get finally the formation of 6-membered ring, in which now at 4th position of the ring is carbonyl, at the first position is oxygen, at the second position there is hydroxy group along with the alkyl group which has come from the anhydride functionality, and the position 3 is with R1 group which is from ketonic functionality and also with the along with hydrogen. Now there the step of dehydration. Here you can see the dehydration in which a lone pair of hydroxy group attacks on the hydrogen, and the carbon hydrogen sigma electrons move towards the carbon carbon, making their double bond, and at the same time carbon oxygen sigma electrons of this hydroxy group moves toward the hydroxy, which is now in the form of water. As water is a good living group, so it is easily removed from this functionality, and we get here double bond. So in this way we are now with the formation of a chromone, in which you can see at second position there is a substitution, and this substituted part is from the anhydride functionality or acid anhydride reactant, and the substitution present at the third carbon is from the ketonic part or ketonic functionality of the hydroxy aryl ketones. So in this way we get the formation of chromone. So this is all about of the chromone formation, and second lecture is also finished here, and thanks.